Hello, I'm Sebastian. Welcome to Nine Nard Trees podcast. Today, I will summarize and review the book. A Dynamical Theory of the Electromagnetic Field by James Clerk Maxwell is one of the foundational works in modern physics, presenting the conceptual framework that unified electricity, magnetism, and light. Written in the 19th century, the work introduces a mathematical description of how electric and magnetic effects arise, evolve, and influence each other through space. Maxwell builds on earlier experimental and theoretical advances, especially the field-based insights associated with Faraday, and translates them into a coherent dynamical system. The central achievement is the set of relations now known as Maxwell equations, which describe how charges and currents generate electric and magnetic fields and how changing fields propagate. The theory predicts that electromagnetic disturbances travel as waves at a speed matching the measured speed of light, leading to the revolutionary conclusion that light is an electromagnetic phenomenon. Beyond its historical importance, the book represents a turning point in scientific modeling, emphasizing fields, energy flow, and continuous media descriptions over action at a distance. I will give you key takeaways from this book. Firstly, from action at a distance to the field concept, a key theme of Maxwell's work is the shift from thinking of forces as instantaneous interactions between separated bodies to viewing electric and magnetic phenomena as states of a field distributed through space. In earlier approaches, charges and magnets seem to affect each other directly across a distance. Maxwell instead treats the region between sources as physically meaningful, with the field carrying the causal structure of interactions. This reframing provides a language for describing induction, where changing currents or magnetic configurations produce measurable effects elsewhere without direct contact. It also supports the idea that energy is stored and transported in the surrounding space, not only within material conductors or sources. By translating Faraday-style intuition about lines of force into mathematics, Maxwell offers a theory that can be analyzed, generalized, and used for prediction. The field perspective becomes essential for later developments, including electromagnetic wave theory, radio engineering, and much of 20th century physics. For readers, this topic clarifies why Maxwell theory is not just a collection of formulas, but a conceptual reorganization. Physical reality is described by local quantities defined at every point, and dynamics are governed by how those quantities change in time and relate to sources like charge and current. Secondly, core relations that became Maxwell equations. Maxwell lays out a system of relationships connecting electric effects, magnetic effects, charge distribution, and current flow. In modern language, these relations include how electric charge density relates to electric field behavior, how currents and changing electric fields generate magnetic effects, how changing magnetic fields induce electric effects, and how magnetic behavior reflects the absence of isolated magnetic charge. The importance is not only that the relations summarize known laws, but that they are expressed as a unified dynamical system. Rather than treating electrostatics, magnetostatics, and induction as separate topics, the theory shows they are different limits of the same framework. One famous step is the inclusion of a term corresponding to changing electric conditions contributing to magnetic phenomena, which resolves inconsistencies that arise if one considers only conduction current in certain scenarios. This addition helps ensure continuity of charge and makes the equations compatible across regimes. The result is a compact set of coupled relationships that can generate a wide range of predictions once boundary conditions and material properties are specified. For readers, this topic highlights how Maxwell organizes diverse experiments and laws into a single structure, setting the stage for calculation of fields in circuits, waveguides, and free space, and providing a template for later field theories in physics. Thirdly, electromagnetic waves and the identification of light. Among the most consequential outcomes of Maxwell theory is the prediction that electromagnetic disturbances can propagate through space as waves. When the governing relations are combined, they imply wave-like solutions in which electric and magnetic components vary together and travel at a characteristic speed determined by electromagnetic constants. Maxwell compared this predicted speed with the measured speed of light and recognized the close agreement as profound evidence that light itself is an electromagnetic phenomenon. This unification does more than connect two previously separate domains. It explains how energy can travel through empty space without requiring a material wire, and it establishes a new understanding of optics as part of a broader electromagnetic theory. The wave concept later enabled practical technologies such as radio, radar, and wireless communications, though those applications were developed after Maxwell. For readers, this topic is central because it shows how abstract field equations lead to concrete, testable consequences, turning a mathematical framework into a physical theory with predictive power. It also illustrates a hallmark of theoretical physics. A unifying model can reveal hidden connections between phenomena and provide a basis for entirely new experimental directions. Fourthly, energy, stress, and flow in the electromagnetic field. Maxwell treatment emphasizes that electromagnetic fields are not mere bookkeeping devices, but carry energy and exert mechanical effects. The theory motivates thinking in terms of energy density in the field and how energy can move from one region to another as the field evolves. This approach supports explanations of forces on conductors, pressure-like effects associated with fields, and the transfer of power from sources to loads without needing to describe energy as traveling inside the metal alone. Maxwell also explored mechanical analogies and stress ideas to make the field concept more tangible, reflecting the 19th century drive to connect physical intuition with mathematical form. Even when later physics moved away from some specific mechanical pictures, the underlying message remained. Fields have dynamical reality, and their energy bookkeeping is essential for understanding circuits, radiation, and interactions. For readers, this topic clarifies why modern electromagnetism often focuses on local conservation laws and energy flow rather than solely on forces between charges. It provides a bridge between the equations and engineering intuition, explaining how power is delivered in electromagnetic systems, why radiation carries momentum, and how field-based descriptions can resolve puzzles that appear when one relies only on particle or circuit-level reasoning. Lastly, methods, models, and the birth of modern theoretical physics. Beyond specific results, Maxwell's work is notable for the way it models nature by proposing fundamental field variables, writing dynamical relations between them, and using mathematics to derive consequences across multiple domains. This method exemplifies a transition toward modern theoretical physics, where unification and consistency play roles as important as fitting individual experiments. Maxwell draws from known empirical laws while also introducing conceptual elements needed to make the theory coherent, showing how theory can guide the interpretation of experiments and suggest new ones. The book also sits at an intersection between physics and applied mathematics, requiring readers to engage with differential relationships, boundary conditions, and material response. It demonstrates how abstract representation can produce practical predictions while remaining grounded in observed phenomena. For readers, this topic frames the book as more than historical artifact. It is a case study in how scientific revolutions occur through careful synthesis, taking scattered results, identifying hidden inconsistencies, adding a key missing piece, and then revealing a broader structure that explains more than the sum of its parts. This modeling style influenced later developments such as relativity, where Maxwell equations played an important motivating role, and the broader field-theoretic approach that underpins much of modern physics. In conclusion, this book is best suited for readers who want to understand how modern electromagnetism was forged, including physics students, engineers interested in first principles, historians of science, and mathematically inclined general readers. It benefits the reader by revealing the logic behind the field concept and by showing how a unified dynamical framework can connect laboratory laws to far-reaching predictions, including the wave nature of electromagnetic phenomena. Even when the notation and style feel different from contemporary textbooks, the work strengthens scientific thinking by demonstrating how to build a theory that is locally defined, internally consistent, and experimentally anchored. Compared with many modern treatments, which present Maxwell equations as finished tools, Maxwell's original synthesis offers something rarer: insight into why the equations take their form and what problems they were designed to solve. That perspective helps readers see electromagnetism as an evolving intellectual structure rather than a set of formulas to memorize. It is worth buying alongside modern textbooks because it adds conceptual depth and historical clarity, letting the reader appreciate the creative leap that unified electricity, magnetism, and optics and helped define the agenda of modern physics and technology. If you would like to support James Clerk Maxwell, you can buy the book through the Amazon link I've provided in the podcast description. After reading the book, please let me know what you think and share your thoughts. See you around.